All right, welcome to Battlebase Delta. That's right, it looks kind of like Battlebase Beta, but it is potentially better in the north. Spawning as the yellow allies, we have from teammates, Vindies. And in the southern position as the Cyan Empire from Team H2O, the other half of this show match, it is Kiro. That's right, Battlebase Delta, and this show match does indeed mean that we are going to be seeing all sorts of new maps from these two guys. Now, most of these maps, they haven't played a large number of games on. They've played very few games on them, if very many at all. I mean, potentially, I don't think either one of these players, technically on this version of this map, have actually played it, because this is 0.6. Yeah, versus 0.5, which was the previous version of Battlebase Delta. There's a couple of changes to it, and as you can see, Vindies is like, I'm having none of these buildings, which, I mean, if you wanted to do this on version 0.5, there would have been about 8 times more buildings here for him to destroy. Now, there is 2 garages on this map. That is something to note. Oh, we're dropping frames. That's not good. Hopefully it does clear up. It seems like we're going good now. And Vindies is going to be heading his engineer back. Now, of course, with those 2 garages, you've also got 2 oil derricks, 1 for each player. Pretty standard there. And the garages are something that I'm interested to see exactly how they end up turning out for this map, because there's not any other maps in the standard map pool that have 2 garages. And, of course, playing as Empire, you have to be very careful with your Tengus and VXs, because they are not going to receive the repairs of that garage while they're in flight mode. And of course, with your Tsunami tanks or Tengus, they're not going to receive the benefits of the garage when they're out on water. I'm guessing in the game code at that point they're counted as aircraft and naval vehicles respectively, and so they do not get the repairs from the garage since they're not counted as quote-unquote vehicles. But either way, hopefully we're going to be seeing some good games from these players. And again, there's like some different nuances to this map that they may or may not be familiar with. But infantry are going to be in heavy numbers for Kiro. He's looking to be a little bit annoying, and Kiro loves doing this sort of stuff. I thought during the Christmas tournament that Kimmy was going to be the Empire, the Dojo Empire, but now I'm kind of thinking it's Kiro. Kiro loves dropping down dojos, throwing up walls when and where he can, but Kiro's pushing in with a lot of infantry, and of course Vindies needs to make sure that he does not lose these engineers. That's 1,000 credits invested, and he just lost 1,000 on that one airfield. Of course, not very good for him. Split's pretty good from Kiro, maybe not fantastic, but right now he just needs to get to safety. He's going to be a little bit unfortunate. He's going to be a little bit sad that there's no building there, and he does lose 1 tank buster. He does have a fully heroic tank buster as well, and Kiro's just looking for some sort of garrison. He desperately wants to find a safe place for his tank busters. He's not quite going to be able to get it, and it looks like the Riptides will clear everything out, but he has secured both of the oil derricks. Of course, he got that cash back, and then every minute that those oil derricks are around, he's getting that 450 credits from each one. Third refinery coming out for Kiro. It's going to be up a little bit faster than it will be for Vindies. Vindies is just going to be a little bit delayed in that respect, although his may actually start mining a little bit faster than Kiro's, depending on if he's going straight for that third refinery. 2 Tengus moving out. Will Kiro really commit these 2 defense? And Tango defense is one of those things that it's really split a lot of... Oh, actually, these Javelin Troopers could just shred these Tangus. Who cares about harassment when you just lost both of them and you only cleaned up a Riptide? The Javelin Troopers all do escape. If you would have cleaned up a couple of the Javelin Troopers, then it maybe would have been worth it, but you have to clean up 2 or 3 of them for it to actually pay off. Those 2 Tangus now gone from the game, but the third refinery's coming up for both players. And yeah, Vindies does not actually have his refinery finished. He went airfield first. Of course, he wanted to replace that airfield that he lost a little bit earlier. Drops the Tengu as well after killing off that Vindicator. And the Honorable Discharge will not actually be coming into effect to kill off a lot of those Javelin Troopers. Unfortunately for Vindies there, he was not, or unfortunately for Kiro, he wasn't able to get any of that splash damage off. Riptide heading in. Kiro, he loves his dojos. He loves his dojo so much. Vindy's going to be abusing the close position of this dojo and utilizing his javelin troopers. Of course, this will force the sacrifice of any of these Imperial Warriors. Nice block by the Riptide, going to be completely cutting off the pathing of that single Imperial Warrior. Nice control there from Vindies, while a Tengu got slammed by those javelin troopers, and Kiro is just being pulled apart. Another dojo going down. He's got the double dojo currently rocking, and on top of that, he does have the Apollo just certainly sitting here waiting for any of these Tengus to try to transform. Vindicator coming in for the bombing run. He may end up just splitting the bombs a little bit here. Did he actually forget advanced aeronautics until just now? Unfortunately, Kiro says my power plant was bugged, which, if that's true, unfortunately, that would cause him some pretty big problems. Of course, if your Empire cores get bugged, that can put you severely behind in any match. But that is Battlebase Delta. Let's take a look at the next map in the pool. All right, welcome to Hard Lesson. Spawning on the bottom left corner of the map, we have the yellow allies. It is Vindies. And in the top right side, we do have the Cyan Empire. He needs your cheers. He is down 0-1 in this 7-map show match. It is Kiro. And of course, with this show match, the idea is to make the players play on maps that are new and interesting, hopefully. And hopefully that they have not really played too many games on before, so we can see some action on the new maps. Now, the kind of interesting thing about this is we do have the 2 oil derricks, but the original version of this map had, I think, 4 veteran academies. Actually, that might be the position of one right there. It had like one there, and I think some up here. I think there was 4 on the map total, just like an insane amount. Oh, we have fast cryocopters coming out from Vindies. You guys saw the tier 2. You guys saw the walls around this airfield. Vindies going for that cryocopter. He doesn't care what map it is. He's like, I want to make sure that I am going to be winning with some cryocopter action. Now, Kiro, unfortunately, is not actually going to get eyes on this for quite some time, although I guess he saw the lack of dogs. He's like, okay, there's no dogs anywhere on this map. He is likely just going for that fast cryocopter, which is why we're starting to see double Defender VX cores come up, which of course will help him deal with the cryocopter Vindicator combo. And Vindies, he's not going to be dropping any bombs. He's not going to be stopping to freeze those Imperial Warriors. That would just slow him down for essentially no real reason. And Vindicator's coming in. The cryocopter going to be just a couple of seconds back, but this is all the time that Kiro potentially needs, just now finishing up the Defender VX cores. Now the second Vindicator node's an Apollo coming out. Vindies is not going to be able to break these turrets, but can he tank enough damage? The cryocopter might get the freeze off. No, he's not actually going to get the freeze off, which means this harvester will survive. The cryocopter will escape as well, and without doing any damage, this, I have no idea who's actually ahead. I mean, they've both got that double refinery. Potentially, Kiro can get oil derricks, but he's just potentially just going aggro with both of his dojos. He turns them around there. Vindies starting to transition this into a 3rd refinery sooner or later, and he's going to be using his Vindicator to clear out as many of these Imperial Warriors. And as long as... Kiro built an extra harvester, unfortunately, for him. But as long as Vindies doesn't lose too much, I mean, this cryocopter is useful in all stages of the game. So we'll have to see if Vindies, maybe he ends up getting overwhelmed by just sheer Tengu spam. Maybe something else ends up happening instead. And that harvester, he is just piecing out. He might just plant it down here just to keep an eye on this part of the map, and then not really worry too much else about it. That cryocopter needs to get some repairs. Now, Kiro, that's exactly what he should be doing, is grabbing both of the oil derricks and then trying to roll that kind of economic advantage into the mid to late game. But with this now established 3rd refinery, Kiro won't actually have an economic advantage with the double oil derrick. He will have a much better position because of that double oil derrick, but he won't have quite the economic advantage that Vindies has. And Kiro potentially going to be going for a relatively quick 3rd. We'll have to see. He, of course, does not want to let that refinery get frozen down and locked away by a cryocopter, so it's very important that he keeps an eye on the cryocopter and knows exactly where it is. Imperial Warrior does get frozen down there, but not too big of a deal. There's the dojo moving out, and it's going to be a naval yard right out of the gate. So, I mean, Kiro, does he really want to contest this base down here? Vindies has already got it established. The Harvester is showing up a little bit too late for Kiro, and it's just another dojo coming out for Kiro. Vindicator comes in, a little bit of a bombing run, cleans out one of the Imperial Warriors, not too big of a deal. And this Harvester, I mean, yeah, it's scouting everything, but if Kiro's not able to do anything about the current economic advantage that his opponent is at, he could be in some real trouble. Even his Imperial Warriors just not doing anything. Vindies Apollo's going to be checking out that Imperial docks. He's going to be like, oh, I see exactly what's going on. I know what's up. Kiro pumping out lots and lots of Tengus. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't have another power plant ready. And with his dojos spread around the map, he may be forced to sell one of them off. And I mean, okay, so he just sells off the naval yard. That'll get him his power back. He does need to draft up another power plant sooner or later if he wants to ever take that third refinery. But with 4 and number 5 refineries being established for Vindies, he can go pretty much anywhere. He's up to that tier 3. He's potentially just working on an aircraft carrier. Oh no, he's only on tier 2. It looked like it was tier 3 down there, but no, he is indeed on just that tier 2. So potentially, oh my word, Vindies may actually be losing his refinery in the main base, which isn't the biggest deal. Oh, forces the sell-off. Nice move there from Vindies. Gets the engineer as well, which isn't the biggest deal, but denying that eco is important. And while Vindies does keep the Harvester, which means he will be able to rebuild that with the build radius, this dojo does present potential problems for Vindies. And if Kiro can actually get some units out there and do the damage to the infrastructure of Vindies, he could start climbing his way back in this game. Lots and lots of Mecha Tengus coming out, and there is going to be the point defense drones utilized for Kiro. Going to be important when he tries to take on the Apollos, because that's how he's going to be able to overwhelm the Apollos in this potential next battle. Cryocopter going to be freezing down that barracks, a good move, but can he stand against the might of the Empire Tengu forces? It's going to be a little bit tough, depending on how Kiro controls. He might just slam through everything, but Vindies splits everything to the far corners of the map, and Vindies was able to clean up the barracks as well. I think I said Kiro splits everything to the far corners of the map, but no, indeed, Vindies was the one splitting everything to the far corners of the map, and Kiro needs to make sure that he keeps both of these Chopper VXs alive. He can't really afford to lose any of them when they are his pretty much sole defense against these Assault Destroyers in this position. Ooh, Riptide steps forward. Riptides get smacked down. And where are actually the Tengus? I'm not actually sure. They're going to be focusing down the Hydrofoil. That's exactly what Kiro needs to do, but all of the shots are being absorbed by that Assault Destroyer, and now suddenly the Assault Destroyers are not... Oh no, the Hydrofoil is back online, which means it can clear out both of the Chopper VXs. They go down. The Tengus are still on the ground, and they're in pretty good numbers. A lot of them still have that point defense drones as well, which is, of course, good for Kiro. He may be able to get the surround on the Assault Destroyer. No, he's not able to get the position far enough forward to go ahead and break down that Assault Destroyer. Imperial Warriors, oh, it looks like he may have got the capture on, I'm guessing, the power plant. I'm not sure what else Kiro would have been able to grab with that dojo. But the aircraft carrier is now out. The Cryogeddon does fire off. 2 Tengus go down. A third is broken as well, and there's 3 more just waiting to be unfrozen. Now, fortunately for Kiro, Vindies is not able to break through those last couple of Mecha Tengus, at least not just yet, and the Assault Destroyer is getting targeted down by the Tsunami tanks. Hydrofoil could be put to potentially better use by locking down the Tsunami tank instead of one of the Tengus, and now the aircraft carriers are going to be forced to split the EMP Blackout Missile. Will it actually hit anything important? Yes, it does lock down a Tsunami tank and a Tengu, but also the aircraft carrier of Vindies does get shut down as well. On the left side of the map, that's just a single infantry unit from Kiro. That Imperial Warrior likely not going to be able to do a whole lot. Kiro trying to stay on the move. Point defense drones come out at the last possible second, blocking off the pathing of that aircraft carrier, trying to corner it so that he can eliminate at least one of these threats. Vindies moves in with the Assault Destroyer at the last possible second. Black Hole Armor going to be saving that aircraft carrier for now, while the second aircraft carrier is going to be able to potentially get taken out. If Kiro can eliminate one of these guys, that's going to be a good victory for him. We'll see if he's actually able to do it. He eliminates it right there. Now the other aircraft carrier is still under the saving grace of that Assault Destroyer's black hole armor, but the Assault Destroyer is actually tanking quite a bit of damage, will end up being eliminated in a couple of more shots there. Black hole armor does save this Assault Destroyer for a little bit longer, but it's not enough to actually save the aircraft carrier, as Vindies is going to be trading off which units are actually absorbing damage. Once this third Assault Destroyer comes back online, the micro potential for Vindies will skyrocket even further as he can switch out that black hole armor ability on Assault Destroyer after Assault Destroyer and just eat his way through these tsunami tanks. As you can see, that's exactly what he's doing. Extremely difficult to deal with as an Empire player, especially if you do not have something that can quickly eliminate the Assault Destroyers, like, say, some Chopper VXs. Kiro has been defeated, and Vindies, with the commanding economy in this game, able to take things 2-0 over Kiro. And unfortunately for Kiro, it's not looking too good for him, but that was hard lesson. Let's go ahead and jump into another of the new maps. Welcome to Caldera of Chaos, and I know what you're thinking. Actually, I don't know what you're thinking, but you're probably thinking, what? That's right, we're playing a 1v1 on a 3-player map. Those of you from StarCraft 2 may be thinking, merry-go-round? Exactly. But on the left side, from Team H2O, he is down 0-2 in the 7 maps show match. It is Kiro. And on the right side, as the yellow allied player, everybody's favorite young one, it is Vindies. He's the young blood of the Red Alert 3 folks, you know, if you want to call him that. But that's what I call him. Now, of course, the advantage of this map is you don't know where your opponent spawns. So you can end up with, you know, kind of these top spawns with these spawns or with these spawns, and maybe it changes things. I mean, the map is fairly symmetrical regardless, but it does kind of change things. And of course, Empire players, my initial thought is that they're going to have a bit of an advantage just because of the spread on the oil derricks. Like, is there any situation in top-level play where an Empire player doesn't grab 2 of the oil derricks?
Is this your first
I'm not sure. Now, Vindies, because it's a new map and he's just like, I don't want to play this map, he's going immediately into cryocopters, which I guess you can expect. Like, he doesn't want to play this map. He knows it's going to be a little bit crazy, so he's just like, screw this map. But there is going to be the cryocopter getting locked down by that burst drone, and is he going immediately into the turret push? It's very possible. Now, Kiro is going to be spreading out a little bit here. As you can see, he's looking to take himself some oil derricks, which is good for him. That's exactly... Oh, that engineer. You're so lazy. Just get into the oil derrick. But what exactly is Vindies going to be following up with? Well, he's got the Vindicator heading straight across the map. He wants to clean this up relatively quickly. Kiro has already got both of the Defender VXs. Again, with this build, you don't really have a lot of opportunity to get out early infantry as the allied player. So that's kind of the giveaway of the Empire player. And Vindies, oh my word. If he could just not all-in... I don't know, is this actually considered an all-in because he went double refinery? It's certainly an aggro play of some sort. I don't know if we can actually call it an all-in. Because you can transition out of this, quote-unquote, if you're Yui, you can transition out of this. I don't know that anyone else will, but... At any rate, the first multi-gunner turret is going to be going down there. Unfortunately for Kiro, the tank busters are not there to support the Defender VX. And of course, the Defender VX has to worry about the cryocopters. So how is Kiro actually going to be able to hold this off? Well, of course, he's hoping that he can put enough damage on the MCV. Maybe if he's able to snipe down the power plant, that could start working out for his favor. Cryocopter freezes down the dojo. There is a second dojo out on the map as well, which means it can start to be frozen. But there is going to be the engineer forcing the MCV to get away, and Kiro has to be so careful with this engineer. No, he ends up just losing it, unfortunately, and Vindies is now going to be able to redeploy, and that was kind of the ace in the hole for Vindies, or for Kiro. Now, Kiro can start working away at these power plants. Cleaning up the power plant is probably the best move in this scenario. Killing the kind of weakest building that's also going to be completely disrupting Vindies' plans. Is there goes the multi-gunner turret that's going to force him to rebuild that power plant, but he can't do that because his MCV is almost being capped. Nice control by Kiro. He's going to be going for the power plant. That is the second best choice. Forcing the sell-off of it is all right as well. Maybe it's not cost-effective for Kiro to do that, but at the same time, he needs to survive, and that's exactly what this early game is about for him. Now, Vindies is starting to be in a very awkward situation with the low power mode. He's been able to clean up both of the anti-air turrets of his opponent, but his opponent does still have the dojos out on the map. And oh, Kiro, back up your infantry! Oh, he's gonna, no, he's not gonna lose the tank busters. That's great. As long as he can break the walls, the Imperial Warriors can kind of deal with most of the remainder that Vindies has in that base. Now, there's going to be the power plant for Vindies, and that's enough. He's only got the one refinery that exists right now. He doesn't have a second refinery drawing power, but even with the MCV being packed up, he's still able to supply power to both of these turrets. He's going to be able to start tearing down the infrastructure of Kiro. Going to be able to start tearing down all of those very important structures, and with no eco other than those two oil derricks, Kiro is in a good bit of trouble. He's sending out burst drones. He's going to be trying to lock down as much as he can in terms of the aircraft. I'm not actually sure if he's going to be able to lock down too much more. If he was able to clean up the cryocopter, that would actually be incredibly important of Kiro. Kiro may just go for the MCV cell. Of course, problem is that he doesn't have the anti-air to deal with any of the cryocopters, or actually, if Vindies, he lost the Vindicator, so it's just the cryocopter. But still, the cryocopter, that is a dangerous tool in itself. Kiro may just be forced to sell off this Conyard. Oh, don't let it get frozen, Kiro. Don't let it get taken out that way. Just sell it off. I think it's time to sell. Multi-gunner turrets, how much longer are they going to spend time shooting at things that aren't the Conyard? That goes down. The engineer instantly frozen, and Kiro is rallying the infantry. Oh, he's actually got a power plant out here. Good on Kiro. So he's got the split of buildings. He's got that. And oh, that harvester actually getting a little bit bugged there, unfortunately, for Vindies. Not sure if he's going to notice that quickly or not. And there goes the engineer. It gets eliminated as well. All of the walls are being broken down. I don't know that this base is all too important to Kiro for killing off. There's the LMAO from Vindies. He's finally getting his harvester back on the line. Airfield does go down, and of course Kiro now is going to be at such a crazy disadvantage. I mean, he already was, but oh, if he can get the power plant, that's pretty big, but it's not as big of a deal as it was earlier in the game, considering the Vindies has been able to escape. He's got his eco up. That's more of a minor annoyance here, and okay, yeah, shutting down that second multi-gunner turret is nice, but Kiro doesn't have any use for this base anyways. Killing that off is maybe not the best scenario. He can just kill off as... Actually, I don't know if he knows. He might not have known that Vindies escaped with the MCV, which would lead him to try to kill off that power plant. And then once he kills the power plant, he thinks the game is going to end, and he's like, oh, the game's not going to end. I guess he's got something out on the map somewhere else. But he should have known that he didn't actually ever kill off that MCV. But that is Caldera of Chaos, the third map in the new map's New Year pool. Let's go into game number 4. Welcome to Island Arena. That's right, this is the continuation of the New Year, New Maps Best of 7 show match, and it's not really a best of 7 because it's a 7-map show match, but on the left side, as the Yellow Allies player, we have Mates Vindies up 3-0 against the man on the right side who needs your cheers. He's the Cyan Empire player. He is Kiro. And we are today not going to be playing any maps that have been featured in tournament play in the last, 18 months at least, maybe 24 months, maybe even, 28 months. It's been a long time since we had anything other than the current map pool. And, of course, Island Arena it's a fair-sized map. It does indeed have 2 garages, and you're maybe looking at the minimap and hey, those are the only tech structures I see. That's right, there's no oil derricks on this map. You know, that's the state of things. We've got maps with two mecha bays, with 2 garages, and no oil derricks. That's the state that we're in. So we shall see exactly how this particular game goes. Kiro streaming out a lot of infantry. His MCV is on the move as well. He's got those dual refineries rolling. I know I was playing some games with Chris 880, Constable Chris. You guys may be familiar with him. I was playing some games on this map, and when I spawned up here, my refinery just didn't deploy. And so we ended up having to regame. He smashed me anyways. It was, complete shutdown. But, ooh, We've got the Garage coming out from Vindies. He may end up trying to focus that one down a little bit later in the game to just kind of deny his ally, or his opponent, that ability to get those repairs. Now Kiro pushing through the middle of the map. He's got lots of infantry deploying that power plant, not like the first map where he had a little bit of trouble deploying one of the maps. Sybert, are you considering starting casting Grey Goo? Well, I'm guessing you missed the stream yesterday where I literally casted Grey Goo for an hour and a half. I'm guessing you missed that, but that's okay because unfortunately the VOD was not saved. Kiro rushes in. He's going to be able to slaughter pretty much all of the Javelin Troopers with his Imperial Warriors. Once he cut through the first couple of vehicles there for Vindies, he was able to just completely annihilate the infantry of Vindies. And unfortunately for Vindies, he didn't actually have any extra Peacekeepers there to jump inside of those IFVs. And now Vindies is going to start putting the hurt on like we saw Kiro is going to start putting the hurt on Vindies like we saw Vindies do to Kiro a little bit earlier. The micro from Vindies is going to be good, and again, the Garages are coming in, being so important in this game. If only Kiro would have scouted out that his opponent grabbed that Garage, he potentially could have sent one Tank Buster over there to start putting the hurt on that Garage, and the dog gets instantly sniped. The multi-gunner turret does get established there. Vindies is going to try to cut off the reinforcements of his opponent. And will he be able to actually do anything with it? Now, the Vindicators are not out on the field, but the IFVs are here, and the micro is going to be very important from Vindies. He needs to make sure that he keeps the one that's slightly stronger at the front of the line, and he may actually end up losing that multi-gunner turret. No, it does end up surviving. Again, that Garage being so important in this game. If Vindies wins this game, it'll probably because of that Garage. There's the Bonsai charge on the Imperial Warrior to shut down any infantry that try to come out of the barracks. A nice move there by Kiro, immediately into the Fast and Furious action as Kiro drops down yet another dojo. A second dojo pops on out as well. He needs the reinforcements close and near the front lines. That multi-gunner turret will pretty much be irrelevant with the dojos down here. Now, Vindies is heading in. He's got two multi-gunner IFVs right on the front lines. He's going to be trying to put the hurt onto his opponent. And Kiro even dropping down the Mecha Bay. But as long as he keeps Vindies on just that one refinery, pretty much no real production structures, he's going to be in an all-right position. And Vindies is just going to be in such an awkward spot right here, right now. But Kiro has not won yet. And Vindies is a powerful and wily allied player. He could actually be heading over here. I'm thinking he's just going to head out to the water or try to... Oh, is he just going to go for the turret push on his opponent? We'll have to see how the pathing really works out for each player. Vindies may just be able to slaughter way too many of these Tank Busters. I think Kiro probably should have turned some units around there. Now, the splits from Kiro, they should be good enough to avoid much damage from this MCV. Occasionally, you will lose a couple of units to the crushes there. Now, here come the IFVs from Vindies. A good move there. Kiro trying to get in for the crush, and Vindies is going to be getting forced away with his multi-gunner IFVs. Both players trying to micro. Couple of lax moments there from each player, but Vindies managed to get out the airfield. He's got Vindicators now that he's going to be able to split the bombs and drop them precisely on the units that he needs. He does clean up that fully heroic Tank Buster, which will deny a lot of that DPS. And of course, Vindies, he's getting free repairs on his MCV this entire time, again, because of that Garage. It's just being so incredibly powerful in this game, and it's allowed him to chew through the entire infantry army of Kiro and Vindies crushes the Tsunami tank immediately as it pops out. Yeah, Kiro spent the time and money to get tier 2 on that Mecha Bay, and he hasn't even been able to use it. He may end up having to just tap out of this game. You know what it came down to? Came down to that Garage, homie. It came down to that Garage. Maybe you shouldn't push infantry versus... Oh, no, and that IFV is actually going to survive for a little bit longer. And the reverse move micro from Vindies cleaning up that burst drone. Nice control by Vindies. But Garages are so strong. I don't know when players are going to wrap their heads around this. Kiro picks up yet another Peacekeeper into that IFV. He's going to be able to chew through just so many infantry. And all right, now, finally, the burst drone is coming on out. Will he actually get the detonation? Yes, he does. It's still not enough to actually kill off the elite multi-gunner IFV. And you have to remember that Vindies is still just sitting on that reduced eco. He cannot actually match the economy of his opponent. And his opponent, technically, in some ways, well, not anymore, but his opponent had better production in that he had dojos and a Mecha Bay rather than just an airfield. And now Kiro is trying to split up his production. He's trying to just force Vindies to go a little bit crazy trying to deal with the multiple dojos. And it's like, infantry, yeah, there's no hospitals on this map, and so Vindies is just going to be in such a better position in that respect. Vindicators coming in, they're cleaning up more and more dojos. The bomb splitting from Vindies has been good pretty much all game long. Kiro has just had so much trouble dealing with the high efficiency of his opponent. And nice snipe by Vindies. That Peacekeeper at the last possible second killed off that burst drone, denying any damage output from that IFV. And Kiro's trying to get up a mass amount of burst drones to actually be able to clean up this IFV, because if he was able to chain, like, say, 3 of them, I think 3 with the repairs, 3 would be enough to clean up that IFV. I believe you only need 2, because it's 2 for sickles, and I believe it's 2 for IFVs as well. But with the garage, it changes the entire kind of early game setup, because, of course, once you've got out some of those units and you're microing back to your war factory for repairs, then the garage maybe isn't as helpful. But when you're out on the front lines, when you don't have repairs nearby, the garage makes such a difference. 2 Imperial Warriors get cleaned up, and the Vindicators are going to be able to clean up this dojo if they want. They're just going for the MCV. He's trying to force just the immediate death of Kiro. And, I mean, yeah, this isn't an actual best of 7, so this particular game doesn't really matter in that sense of like, oh, it's not match point. We're playing 7 maps regardless of the score, which, I mean, it could end up being 7-0 for Vindies. Hopefully not. But we're going to be playing 7 maps regardless of the score. So, yeah, it's not like, hey, this is the match point or anything like that. But it is important nonetheless. There we go. We all knew it was going to happen at some point. The heroic IFV from Vindies, and he's pushed all the way across the map. I forgot about the MCV, but he is indeed going for the turret push, and this is the shutdown that Vindies needs. This is the damage output that he needs to take this game. Kiro has been defeated, and Vindies going up 4-0 against Kiro in this 7-map show match. Just solid play from Vindies. And Kiro, he was the one going a little bit aggro crazy in that game. Yeah, some of the other maps we ended up seeing some all-in-ish type stuff. Maybe not exactly an all-in from Vindies, but some all-in-ish type stuff. Some heavy aggro play. And this time it was Kiro. Didn't work out for him, though. Let's jump into the next map. Welcome to Mers Landing, and spawning on the left side as the Yellow Allies. You guys already know who it is. It is Mates Vindies, the young one. On the right side, we have the Cyan Empire player from Team H2O, down 0-4 in this 7-map show match. It is Kiro. Kiro versus Vindies. It's a matchup that can go either way. And of course, whoever loses today, which, I mean, it's actually impossible for Kiro to have a winning map score in this series. It's impossible at this point. But whoever loses this can just say, hey, Mang, we were on new maps. What do you expect from me? You know, they're new maps. Plus, you all-in a couple times. Or maybe not all-in, but heavy aggro play, almost all-in sort of stuff. Mers Landing. I actually forgot to check if this was the correct version of this map as well. I'm not sure what's different between 1.12.2 and 1.12.2.1, which is kind of the work-in-progress version of the map. The .1 just indicates that it's not quite finished just yet, that there's more likely going to be changes in the future. Kiro going to be splitting out some burst drones. He's also going to be looking to take both of these oil derricks, which he has done on a couple of the maps. And, of course, with this Vindicator being annoying, he's not going to be able to do too much with that engineer. But fortunately for Kiro, this dojo has gone completely unscouted by Vindies, so he's not going to know about that. Mecha Bay getting thrown down, and of course with the airfield first, Vindies is going to be having some very powerful aircraft out early in the game, which of course Tengus will be needed to deal with that. And look, another dojo coming out from Kiro. What a surprise. What an absolute surprise from Kiro that he's going for those dojos. Dojo gets cleaned up. He did grab this oil derrick over there, so good on Kiro. Now, Vindies is moving out. And that MCV, I mean, if you draw a straight line, well, maybe not anymore, but if you drew a straight line out from that MCV when it was back here, it would have gone straight over to Kiro's base. Now, I'm not saying it's for sure going to be a turret push, because now it looks like Vindies is indeed going to be splitting his MCV off north. He's potentially looking to take this and this as his, third and fourth refinery, not fourth and fifth. But third and fourth refineries. Ooh, this Tengu does transform just in time. I thought it was going to get caught out a little bit there. Fortunately for Kiro, he did indeed save it. And Vindies, ooh, Kiro, please don't build an engineer. No, he does pause it. Good on Kiro. There's going to be the bombing and the sell-off of that Defender VX. Kiro, please transform that Tengu. Please transform the Tengu. He's trying to micro-cute. He's trying to do the cutesy Tengu micro where you get on top of the Apollo so that it has to turn and fire at you. But when you've only got one Tengu, it doesn't work out nearly as well as if you have other Tengus killing that Apollo while it's, turning and firing. That engineer, he's lazy on the job. But Vindies tells him to go ahead and capture that. Of course, it'll take a minute, a little over a minute, for Vindies to actually get the cash back from that particular oil derrick to pay for that engineer. And Kiro, I mean, he doesn't quite have point defense drones just yet. He did most likely go for honorable discharge. He will be focusing down one of the Apollos. He doesn't lose any of... No, he did lose one Tengu. That's a little bit rough. Losing one Tengu is never nice. Now, the burst drone does indeed spot the Conyard up here, which isn't necessarily going to be, like, super crazy that, oh, this burst drone spotted the Conyard. No, but it is very important to know that your opponent is going to be expanding, and potentially he's going to be expanding out a couple times. Because if Vindies goes for a third refinery and then a fourth refinery quickly after, Kiro might have an opportunity to make something happen on the aggression front. He's got nothing constructing. Kiro potentially saving his money for a third refinery. He does need to make sure that he doesn't get caught out in the economy game and fall super far behind, because that would make him me and not a good player. Because that's what happens with me. I get behind an eco, and then I never recover. Wait a second. Kiro swinging on out. Is he going to be able to catch the Apollos? This would be a great move for Kiro. Shuts down one Apollo pretty hard. The other one is going to be able to escape. I didn't realize I didn't have the overlay up. Whoopsie daisy. Nobody told me. I'm gonna actually... Yeah, nobody said it in the chat, so that's my excuse. There's the refinery that I was kind of talking about, that third refinery for Kiro. And of course, on this map, you do have this expansion back here, but because of the cliffs, it's like there's no real easy way to get there. Although, would this be the one time to actually use a Sputnik as Soviets and, like, just twin blade it over there? Because it's close by air. Huh. That may actually be a reasonable idea. I don't know. But, I mean, you have to drive. Okay, you don't have to actually have to drive that much further. Maybe I'm just talking crap. Kiro is going to be splitting off a single Imperial Warrior up north. Could Bonsai charge that guy over here to try to see if Vindies has taken this expansion? As that's important to know as well. Has Vindies gone for that fourth expansion? Maybe he went for the water expansion first. Kiro may not exactly know. However, Vindies is going to be scouting out. He's going to be seeing, okay, exactly what is going on with the expansion of Kiro. Now, Kiro's up to that 3 refinery as well. 3 refinery Empire versus 3 refinery Allies. But a good Allies player will usually be very efficient with their cryocopters. Now, Kiro can't actually get out of here if he cleans up. Ooh, he kind of has to clean up the ore refinery. He's already lost 2 of the Tengus, which is by far not worth it for the harass. And if he loses the 3rd Tengu, it will... Okay, it almost cost him more than a refinery in that case. Oh, nope, the Apollos, they're just standing by. They're waiting for the transform, because if there is a transform, he wants to go ahead and kill off that weakened Tengu as quickly as possible. Vindies splitting off a Riptide that may end up being just for the harass on the water expansion, but it also could be a Javelin Riptide for a little bit more substantial damage. Kiro trying to escape as best he can. I mean, he's going to be torn apart by the Vindicators, or he's going to be torn apart by the MiGs. And without point defense drones, it's going to be a little bit difficult. No, he does transform just at the right time. It does get a couple of shots off there on one of the Vindicators. Cleans up one Apollo again, but that doesn't quite make up... Actually, that gets close. With the, if you count in the Harvester as well, that gets close to actually being effective. Now, Vindies may actually be able to clean up this one Tengu. No, he's not able to clean it up, but he is able to save the Apollo, which is pretty important. The Riptide on the right side of the map going to be able to clean up this Harvester without too much trouble. Now, Kiro, did he actually ever tech up? Yes, he's up to that tier 2. He's also going to be going for a 4th refinery himself, which is very important for Kiro. Oh, yeah, you can't drop on C. I guess that's a good point. Look at me talking crap. That whole twin blade Sputnik thing. No worries. Now, of course, against a Soviet player, you always have to worry about your water expansions. And against a guy like Dan Call, he is never going to let your water expansions rest easy. Whether it's just a single terror drone that you're going to have to be watching for over the course of all of your expansions, or it's going to be some Akula subs. Either way, Vindies, no, not Vindies, Dan Call or other Soviet players are not... Actually, that Aegis Shield might be blocking... I don't actually know if that cryo shot would have done anything at all. But yeah, Soviet players, you have to watch out against those, water expansions back there. So we'll see how that ends up working out for players against Soviets. Crush from the Vindies is going to be happening with the Mirage tank. Now, there is 2 Tsunami tanks here, which means they might be able to nope, not quite going to be able to finish off that Mirage tank. He did activate the nano deflectors for both of those Tsunami tanks. And is he actually going to be able to get the final damage output on? Nope, he's not going to be able to kill off the Mirage tank with the initial units. He might be able to finish it off with the Tengus, but the Apollos are getting some pretty good damage off on those Tengus. And unfortunately for Kiro, he is not able to do really efficient damage to Vindies. And now Vindies does have a fully elite Mirage tank. He's going to micro it back, just pull it away from the battle, get it some repairs back at the War Factory, and the GG comes down. Kiro is just being destroyed by Vindies. And on Mur's Landing, Kiro did definitely have a shot to take that game. Didn't quite end up working out for him, unfortunately. But we've got a couple of more maps as well, so let's jump into those. Welcome to Pure Ownage, our 6th map of the 7-map show match. On the left side, you know who he is. He needs your cheers. He is down 0-5. It is Kiro. And in the northeast position, the Yellow Allies, potentially with the only normal opening in this series, it is Mates Vindies. Now, Pure Oniage, or Ownage, I'm not actually sure how it's, supposed to be pronounced, but we've got our double oil derricks there and there. And then this map kind of has an interesting split on it. I'm not sure if this used to be something and that they changed it, but... I mean, there's like this little island up here, so, I don't know. There's an island up there. I don't actually know. But, of course, the bridges are pretty much all destructible, and you've still got this kind of central pathway between each of you. Now, Kiro may actually get the kill. Nice kill on 2 Javelin Troopers. That dojo has paid for itself pretty much any way you look at it. May even get a 3rd Javelin Trooper as well. Good control from Kiro. I guess we can go ahead and throw up the overlay as well. 2 more dojos are coming out. Oh my word, if he actually gets this engineer, which he may get it with the Bonsai charge on that Imperial Warrior, the dog is too slow. He gets the engineer. A nice kill by Kiro. And Kiro is going to be able to secure his own oil derrick in a couple of moments here, as long as he makes sure that he tells that engineer to do his job. Doesn't let him slack. But Vindies has split dogs around the map for the scout. Kiro going heavy with the tank busters. He's going to really look to put on some pressure with that allied infantry. There's little statues and all sorts of things on these maps. A lot of detail has gone into some of the new-ish maps. The Uprising maps have all sorts of little nuancy things, and on Battlebase Delta, I know Yellow Jacket was talking about how he recently added a fair bit more detail. Oh my word, that building is so tall. Like, look at that! Look at that pennant! That pennant sticks up like an extra 20 miles above that particular building. Now, Riptide, of course, it is going to come down to a lot of the control from Vindies. Can he survive the onslaught of infantry that's coming in for Kiro? What the? What is that? What is that health bar, actually? It's like, did it disappear with the tree? No, it's... That patch of grass is alive, people! That patch of grass is alive. Oh, I'm not actually sure. I heard the capturing sound. I'm not sure who that was. That's a little bit unfortunate if Kiro ended up losing that engineer. That's really bad for him. But Kiro, will he be able to kind of expand on out from this? He only went 1 refinery. He only went... Oh, and he sold his MCV as well. Kiro going 1 refinery, Mecha Bay, MCV cell, and is going to be trying to capture the oil derrick of his opponent. Hopefully he doesn't forget about that engineer and then just send him forward. Now there is a Riptide potentially with a couple of Javelin Troopers heading on in. And Vindies, he's going to be looking to snipe this engineer as soon as he gets eyes on it. But he's actually pulling back his Riptides pretty far. Is he actually going to be able to figure out that Kiro is capturing that oil derrick before it's too late. No, he is not. Kiro is going to grab that, which will help him fuel his economy. 2 Javelin Troopers is going to be enough to shut down this expansion, but no, activate those nano deflectors. This is the one time to just do it en masse, and he will get one of the Javelin Troopers. No, he doesn't actually get the crush. He does get the crush there on both of them. A good control. No, he does. How did he not kill that other guy? I'm not actually sure how that second Javelin Trooper survived that. Kiro does manage to get both of the Javelin... No! He manages to get both of the Tsunami tanks out in time, and the Javelin Trooper does go down inside of that Riptide there. Unfortunately for Vindies, not being too good. Not being... I mean, what do you do against the Tsunami tank? But unfortunately for Vindies, not able to escape with those units. Oh my word, this flag is so freaking tall. That entire building is just... It's too tall. That flag is too damn high. Hey, is this 2011? Was that when that joke came out? I don't know. Vindicator's heading out across the map. Of course, Vindies doesn't have to worry too much about beating Kiro in the economy game. He has to worry about the damage output of Kiro right here, right now. Lots of Riptides are here out on the map. Kiro trying to draw Vindies back into the civilian structure where he's going to have the advantage of some serious damage output with the tank busters, but now that even the MCV is out of range, it's going to be hard for Kiro to really put on the damage. He lost most of his Tsunami tanks. He's pumping Tengus now because he knows he needs to win that air war, and he cannot let Vindies have the advantage of getting up to those cryocopters because that would absolutely shred him. His kind of hope is right here, right now, that he's going to be able to shut down the aircraft of his opponent with his Tengus. Is that a 5th Tengu? Good. He's got a 5th Tengu heading out across the map. He's going to be able to potentially completely lock down the air force of his opponent. And Kiro just trying to draw in the Riptides of his opponent. Vindies is not having too much of it. Oh, that Riptide was just one shot away from a tank buster of being eliminated, and Vindies is like, oh, you're going to camp my airfield? I guess I'll just go for Javelin Troopers? Oh, easy. He could also potentially laser lock down this building. It doesn't actually have very much HP left, so the Vindicators might also be able to finish it off with just a single bombing run. And Kiro has worked himself into a very weird corner. He's going to need some exceptional control and some mistakes from Vindies to really make this work. Now, the Striker VX does come in. The Chopper VX rather going to help him focus down a lot of these units. Tengu's also going to be coming in to focus down both of the Javelin Troopers. They get eliminated, but there goes the Striker VX. It crashes down onto the infantry, even disrupting what little offensive power that Kiro has, and Kiro drops the GG. And Vindies, I mean, he is brutal, man. He is brutal. He takes that 6th map in this best of the 7-map show match. But we've got one more map. It's Temple Prime Tournament Edition coming your way in just a few moments. All right, welcome to Temple Prime Tournament Edition, spawning on the left side. The man who is up 6-0 in this 7-map show match. It is Vindies. On the right side, as the Cyan Empire, he needs your cheers to take even one map in this show match. It is Kiro. All right, so yeah, Kiro is down. We've seen some cheese. We've seen a mix of things. And of course, if you've been looking at these maps thinking, hey, I want to try my luck on these maps, then you can, of course, grab them at red3.org, over on gamereplays.org, the Red Alert 3 section. A couple of them are in the mess hall, the ones made by Yellow Jacket, which is this one, Temple Prime Tournament Edition, and Battlebase Delta, as well as a new map that he's working on. But all of these maps that you have seen today can be downloaded in the New Year New Maps Tournament Map Pack, which is available right now on the front page. It's going to be up even after the tournament goes down, but no one will really be probably downloading it too much. At any rate, what's the difference between this and the regular version of the map? Well, as you can probably see, we don't have that second tier of high ground, and also everything has been pushed out a little bit. So these are much wider, these kind of sides of the island. They're a little bit wider. We've got a land expansion over here. We've got a land expansion over here, so it's not going to be 2 water refineries. There's been a number of changes here. Also, a large reduction in the sheer number of buildings. As you can see, there used to be like 28 buildings on this map, and now there are not. So there's been plenty of changes. Oh, that engineer gets sniped by Kiro. A nice kill there, but we've seen Kiro gain the advantages of little infantry wars in the beginning, and it doesn't always work out for him in the long run. Oh my word, is he really going... He really won't run one refinery. And then I'm guessing he went MCV cell. Yeah, that's where the second engineer came from. So that's how he grabbed both of the oil derricks. Never mind, guys. Just call it off. We're not going to see a macro game. Everyone go home. Just everyone go home. Because we're not going to see a macro game on this map. We're not going to see these expansions take effect. We're not going to see players really play this map out. Kiro just wants to win a game, though. He's the little Empire player that could. He wants to win that game. This Javelin Trooper, he's going to do his darndest to kill off that Dojo Core. The Imperial Warrior is going to do his darndest to kill off the Javelin Trooper. And, oh, he's just not quite in range. Oh, it's the Burst Drone. That's what that cyan dot is. So, yeah, on this map, you've got still the high ground third kind of expansions, but... You know, maybe this is going to be the better expansion for each player. Maybe not. I don't know. Are Empire players going to open 3 ref on this map and try to secure, you know, this as their third expansion? It's a possibility. I'm not saying it's for sure going to happen, but it's a possibility. That Tank Buster, he was, Tank Buster. That Javelin Trooper, he was a little bit in over his head, unfortunately for him. MCV coming forward, much like the last game. It's Riptides versus Tank Busters. This time, the MCV may actually end up going down. I don't know how was happening with that MCV. Unfortunately, the pathing is just a little bit buggy there. There's the snipe on the MCV. Javelin Troopers get ejected out, but they're not going to be doing anything versus this infantry cloud from Vindies. Kiro, excuse me, from Kiro. Vindies is in a rough spot against this heavy infantry play from Kiro. On top of that, Kiro is going to be grabbing this oil derrick down here, considering that Vindies locked down the one in the north. Ore Refinery is going to be getting focused down, and now these two players are on approximately equal eco. Of course, Vindies was way ahead in the eco with his double refinery opener, but Kiro now has that oil derrick. And of course, Vindies, he's got that naval yard. As long as he's got the seaport, he's got a chance. But now that the power plant is down, actually, I'm not sure if the second power plant out on the water is able to do anything. Oh, my word, is Kiro going to do it? Is he going to take the game? He may very well, although... Wait a second. No, Kiro's harvesters, he can go out on water. It doesn't matter. Kiro is going to take this game, folks. So I hope you enjoyed the 7-map series between these two guys on the new maps. New year, new maps. Registration is indeed open. We're going to be playing them all on fun maps. Never been played before in Premier tournaments. And Kiro is going to be taking that 1 point back from Vindies. So good on Kiro. He was able to take that final map back. Are these things even relevant, these graphs, after the game? Especially in this game, I don't even feel like they mean anything in this particular match. It's 6-1 is the final score. Congratulations to Vindies, able to out-cheese Kiro on new maps. Good for him. But that will wrap it up, of course. Thank you all very much for watching. And this is Sybert signing out.